I'm Quade Hafen. This is my first Java project, and I'm going to go over some of the syntax lessons that I've learned while going through it. It's very similar to C# in a lot of ways. Um, I believe they're sister languages. My program runs, and the things that were interesting for me going through it, if I just go over to my skill base is the main class here. It defines what a skill is, and it creates or when the object is initialized, um, it pretty much runs it's like the base thing that's behind my program, right? Making it was very similar to C#, but just I'm making an object here. I made it abstract, and I think there's some minuscule details that were a little different than C#. Here's one that was interesting. Extends is the term that's used to define a child class here, because skills is the child class of skill base. The override here uses the at, which is interesting. I like it's a lot more specific, I feel, than in C#. Using the different functions here, there's always a whole bunch to be used in any language. Oh, there's a good example of that here in Skill Factory. Oh, here it is. It's using the same one. Stream, I used it a lot just because I was working with lists a lot, and I was going through lists, and I was filtering out specifically, in a lot of cases with this lambda function, I was filtering out trying to find specific names of skills and then pulling those skills out, and then I'm using that mostly just to check prerequisites and different things in this program. But going through a bunch of functions like this I think it's very compact. It's a really nice, it's a really neat way of going through this is just a variable, right? But it goes through and it does so much. There's so much stuff going on here. But yeah, so streams filters out, gets the name. It says like if it's equal to micro word in this case, it finds the first one that's equal to that and it pulls it out. If not, then it's null. And then there's the usages of that is very interesting. Just this little syntax thing of this arrow for this lambda is really, I want to explore that a bit more, because that's I mean, it's a weird syntax thing. It looks cool to me, honestly, but like the different choices they made when they were making when this language is just kind of interesting to me. Besides that, a lot of it has just been just comparing and refreshing me on C# and trying not to get too confused. List of is another interesting one. It turns this into a list, and then seeing the comparisons with the objects, how they are. There was, let's see, what was that? Oh yeah, that's right. There's this thing with arrays that was different. Was it skill tree that I used it a lot? Let's see. New array list. This was a bit different. The way this is, this is how I specify an array list, that it is a new one. It needs me to do that. So that was interesting. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on the syntax and things I've learned about this, the differences in different languages, at least with Java, what's going on here. But thanks for listening, and let me know if I have a misunderstanding about different syntax, because better to learn that quickly, eh? Anyway, thanks for listening.